Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by Prize Picks. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. It is Foxworth Friday. Domonique Foxworth, what's going on?
Not much. We're getting closer to that time when we talk about baseball. It's getting close.
When is that? When the hell is that? Like, watching it is one thing, man, but talking about it, bruh, don't tell the people we about to do that. I'm trying to keep this job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. I'm going to a baseball game this weekend, but I'm just saying, these finals, man, I was really excited about it, and we are getting close to the end.
All right, we'll get there. First of all, I want to let the people know, Dominique, maybe you even need to know. You listening right now, go to the Right Time YouTube channel. I know a lot of you guys listen to us on pod. I appreciate that. But we got a YouTube channel that has exclusive stuff that you might not get on the show. Sometimes it's like quick instant reaction to some news that's gone down. But we also been doing a series on the best rap albums from the classic year of 1994. And we have dropped the Ready to Die episode. Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die is at the Right Time YouTube channel. So y'all go check that out. That seems like something that's right up Dominique's alley.
Yeah, I'll be there. Which you did a Nas one, right?
Yeah, we did Illmatic.
Yeah, that was the one that I got bookmarked. I didn't get to it yet because I don't know that I'm ready to hear what you got to say about Illmatic. Because I know that you're like a real live music critic. And you might have some things to say that I'm going to be like, I don't care what you got to say. I don't want no criticism on this. I would like to keep it the way that it is in my mind.
That's not, we picking albums that ain't to be criticized. Like that's okay. Like we are picking great albums. If I got to criticize them, I'm not really doing that right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's a celebration. You know what? I did not realize until this moment. I knew you said that Nas was your guy, but I didn't realize you were that guy.
Well, Illmatic is my album. I, for a long time, would say Nas is my favorite rapper. Then I realized that I really don't like a whole bunch of other stuff. I just really like Illmatic. Like his recent stuff, I don't even try it out. Like, that's not what I'm here for.
The recent stuff is pretty good. Like,
is it?
Yeah. The recent stuff is pretty good.
I need to give it a shot?
Yeah, you do. I mean, what he did was he went and found a young producer, Hit Boy, who he got the chemistry with, and they just out here, like he brought Nas back, basically. But you're still that guy, because ain't nobody more sensitive about what people got to say about their little homie than Nas stands, boy. That Jay-Z battle turned Nas stands into the most defensive people in the world. Like, I thought he'd be picking them beats.
Oh, yeah, that was it. So I'm not delusional. I really appreciate that album. He got cooked. I don't. Man, that's the thing is, I appreciate stuff, but I ain't like a stan. We not friends. Yeah. He not my family.
I used to think that he got cooked in that Jay-Z battle. He did not. He won. He won with a knockout. Here's why. Here's the best way for me to put it. Okay. So imagine if after a knockout, instead of just saying the person that hit the knockout blow is the winner, we said, okay, the fight's over. Now let's go to the cards. If you had gone to the cards at that moment, Jay-Z would have won with Takeover, which was a technical masterpiece, right? However, that's not how it works. After a knockout. After a knockout, the fight is over. And once Jay-Z cried on the radio, it was clear he had been knocked out. Him crying on the radio was them putting 2 fingers up and being like, how many fingers am I holding up? And Jay-Z being like, what time is it? like that was it. He got knocked out. He got knocked to the ground. Just like the Boston Celtics out here knocking the hell out. Luka Dončić got knocked out in game 3, big homie. I thought Dallas was going to win the series. I definitely thought they were going to win game 3. I've had some people say that they believe it was a prisoner of the moment situation, but no. The reason that I thought that Dallas was going to win, or more accurately, the reason I thought Boston was going to lose, is I came out of that Indiana series more convinced than ever that they are a bunch of unserious people. There was no reason in the world that series should have been 4 close games. They played 2 close games against Indiana after Halliburton got hurt, right? It was just like, you can't do nothing to make these dudes act like this shit matters. So you could tell me that they had one of the best seasons of all time. You could tell me they were the best team in the league. You could tell me whatever else you wanted to. I saw a bunch of dudes that for the last 6 or 7 years, we've been saying the same thing. They just don't understand that this is serious. And then they came out there with Porzingis, and I was like, yikes. Yikes. I have forgotten what you guys look like when this guy's out here. And then Porzingis went out there and got Hobley. And I'm like, okay, cool, Dallas. You got your chance. They came out strong. And your boy Luka committed 4 fouls in less than 8 minutes in the fourth quarter of a must-win game.
They was fouls too. Like they was fouls too. And they were not like not smart fouls. They was just fouls. He wanted to act like they wasn't. That's the thing about these, and you say this also about like the Monday night game in football season, the Thursday night game, these isolated moments, everything gets magnified. And you get an opportunity to like, not an opportunity, but for the stars, it's going to define like the way that we talk about you in the coming seasons. And for Jason Tatum, he's experienced that. Up until now, it's like, all right, we need it in a big one type of guy. And that's what we're looking for. Can this team put it away? But for Luka, I think up until now, he's been occasionally overachieving with his team and being an incredible offensive player, but never quite making it to the pinnacle. And there's always a little bit of talk about his defense, but the team's defense got better, so it wasn't much of a story. Bruh. I mean, Brian Windhorst, if it wasn't going to be a thing, that man made damn sure. He just came on and was like, it is fitting that he finished that game on the ground and then winning that. And you know this, the way that Brian's a reporter.
Hold on 1 second. Let's go ahead and play this clip so the people can know what we're talking about.
I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, you better bleeping challenge it, as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
Okay, Domonique, you were saying?
I was saying that Brian Windhorst is a reporter. And what him coming like that suggests to me is that there are people talking to him. And he said in there, I believe he said something to the effect of coaches have tried to talk to him. Players have tried to talk to him. I don't know who he's hanging with, but somebody better talk to him. Like, you talking about his family now? His homeboys got to get a hold of him?
Jason Kidd has been saying this since last season. Like, look, man, this has got to stop. And there was a game in these playoffs where he was acting so good with the refs that I thought they got him a prescription. Like, because there was no way in the world that I felt like you could turn into a whole new person like that unless they went and they got him a prescription. Like, that was what I thought. But apparently it was a trial joint. You know what I'm saying? Or he got a hold of somebody's last. Like, hey, man, hey, don't throw them out. I know it expired, but let me hold a couple of them, just see what happened, right? You know, and then he ran out, and then he was out there acting a donkey, and Windhorst came out there and said that. And then on Thursday morning, I saw him get on the ESPN shows, and what I found interesting was he was going all the way over to the old country. He was like, I watched him do this with the Slovenian national team, that this would happen and that would happen, and him screaming at the bench to go challenge the bleeping call and and everything else. And it's a thing. We've seen it. And Luka is one of these guys that I used to say this about Randy Moss, and it is guys like him, you got to evaluate them through the paradigm of the child prodigy, right? Like you got to give them the Amadeus treatment to a degree. They are going to act ridiculously at times because something happens to your brain when you're just that talented and been that talented forever. You tend to not know how to hold your shit together. He is one of those people who apparently can't get it right, but he's going to have to get it right because he's self-destructed. And he's self-destructed in a way that I don't know if the moment was too big for him or he wasn't big enough for the moment. But as much as we can see them clips of him playing overseas and it's on fire in the crowd, and we can say that, hey, he was over there and, playing for Real Madrid when he was 14. What's going to happen here ain't going to be bigger. Hey, man, this still bigger than anything he ever did. This bigger than a gold medal game. This bigger than La Liga or whatever the hell it is that they play over there. This is the NBA. These are the NBA finals, and something happened in the course of this, and it looked like it swallowed him up. And it's a shame, too, because Kyrie, when it overcame, look, this also tells me that Kyrie was rattled playing up there in Boston because he came out there on Wednesday night on Foyer, I tell you, Foyer. And then Luka burned himself up.
Yeah. I find it hard to believe that this is because the moment is too big for him. It seemed like he just frustrated, but I guess I can't even say
that's what I mean. He wasn't big enough for the moment. The moment wasn't too big.
Yeah.
He wasn't big enough for the moment.
It's clear he's frustrated, but the big story coming out is, which is surprising, I think coming into this finals, and not that I know anything detailed or I can pretend like I really understand basketball at some deep level, but I thought the Celtics was going to win this finals. But I thought that the story coming out was going to be determined by how good Jason Tatum played. It really feels like the story coming out of this finals is going to be like, yeah, the Celtics, it's nice. But Luka, what's wrong with you? Which I had no expectation that the big story coming out of this is, if anything, I thought we'd be talking about Luka like, man, he really cooked, but he ain't have enough around him. But it feels like the opposite, especially coming off a back-to-back 30-point triple-doubles. Like, he's cooking on one end, and I am prone to be like, look, if you're going to put the offensive load on a guy, you can't expect him. Like, I remember making this argument for James Harden back in the day. Like, you can't expect him to go all out on D. But these compilations that I'm watching on the internet, bro, that makes it worse. Because I'll watch the course of the game, like, come on, Luka, you missed that one. And you don't notice all the other things where actual basketball people break it down and they put together a 6-minute compilation of this man falling asleep on the backside of defense or getting blown by, having his teammates push him into position. It's like, damn, bro.
Yeah. And look, they don't have enough around them, but to be fair, Kyrie and Luka shot a combined 45 shots. The rest of the Mavericks shot a combined 41 shots. I can't blame those other dudes for not shooting well when you don't never get to shoot.
Yeah.
Right? I can't put you in that position. That's unfair. That used to be the Kobe Bryant thing, right? Kobe take all them shots, and then when you realize he ain't gonna pass you the ball no more, he hits you in the face with a stinger, and now he looking at you like you did something wrong, right? They got some things over there that they need to figure clearly. And they were definitely playing against a team that was better than them, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't have won. I'm not saying they should have won. I'm not saying they were supposed to win, but it didn't mean that they couldn't win. Now, on the other side, when you bring up Tatum, did you hear that clip where they had him mic'd up and he was talking about how we can't be out here taking step back threes? And I was like, son, do you know who you are? How dare you speak to me like that?
Oh, gosh, I might be, this might be unfair of me, but there are certain players who I hear their mic'd up segments and I'd be like, you was thinking about how you was mic'd up. Jaylen Brown has been that guy for much of this series, but Jason Tatum also was like, I wanted this out there. I wanted y'all to hear me say this. Like, come on, Jason.
Oh, my goodness. What seems to be interesting is I agreed with you that they would be as good as Jason Tatum would be. Yeah. And I believe that us approaching it with that outlook means that we should probably apologize to Jaylen Brown. Yeah. Because Jaylen Brown has decided it doesn't matter how good Jason Tatum is because I'm about to be that guy. What guy? That guy. I'm about to be that guy, and he has been that guy. And I mean that guy that's coming in the lane yamming on people. I mean the dude, he the one that couldn't dribble last year, could not dribble last year. He has elevated himself in such a way where I got to drop a bunch of, my bad, dog.
Absolutely. Everybody, I was, if we are coming clean about bad takes, I was one of the people last year that was like, I don't know about this contract. It locks you in. It locks you in. You're damn right you want to be locked in with that man because he is locked in. It is clear that whatever he had heard, he came out with a point to prove this whole season and particularly in his playoffs. And I wish we weren't recording because there are jokes that I would like to make about leadership that I cannot make because I don't want certain people hearing these jokes.
Well, hold on. First thing I would say right fast is, as much as we talk about how maybe they need more around them dudes down there in Dallas, let us not lose sight of the fact, right, that outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I love Al Horford, but that's old-ass Al Horford. I love Jrue Holiday. That's old-ass Jrue Holiday. Is Derek White, who was more famous for his hairline when he was out there still trying to hold that shit down. Xavier Tillman, hashtag he's still in the league. And then two guys that I want to talk about on the other side of the break who are going to be pitted against each other for the rest of their careers. The NBA Finals are here and in full swing, and Prize Picks is the most simple way to get in on the action. You just select two or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineup. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. But rather than hearing it from me, let's talk to somebody who actually uses Prize Picks. Sean, how the picks been going for you?
You know, Bo, it's been great because during the finals, the picks mean more on Prize Picks, and so do the star players. So you get boosted playouts on select basketball stars that you won't find anywhere else. So, if you want to make picks on guys like Luka or Kyrie or even Tatum and Brown, you'll get increased payouts if you win. So, make sure you tune in at the end of the show episode to hear some of my picks.
All right, there we go. So you make sure to go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Hey, let me put you on to something real quick. Got something you should check out. You ever heard of the BLK app? That's BLK, not black. The BLK app. And if not, you're missing out. So check this out. BLK is the largest dating and lifestyle app made specifically for the black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, it's not. BLK switched things up. So you can find you a boo if that's what you're looking for. But if you're just looking to make friends, network, or group chat with folks based on shared interests, or find out about events happening near you, BLK's got all that too. The app's been around for almost 7 years now, and over 11 million people have downloaded it. That's like the populations of New York City and LA combined. If you've downloaded the app before and deleted it, re-download it, because they've introduced a bunch of new features, and there's new people to meet on the app. And did I mention that it's free? That's right, free. So go download BLK today in the App Store or on Google Play. It's free, it's fun, it's for us. Check it out and let me know what you think. Sleep is super important. And even though I got a mattress just under 2 years ago, Sean, you got to take advantage of our new partnership with Helix. How'd that go for you?
Bo, it was amazing. Helix has a lineup that offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collection. So basically, I took their simple Helix sleep quiz and found the perfect mattress for myself in under 2 minutes. It was super easy. And look, I love a medium firm mattress, and I get a little hot at night. So I went with the Helix Midnight, which helps me cool down a bit. And plus, my personalized mattress is going to be shipped straight to my door free of charge.
If you don't want to take Sean's word for it, Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress by GQ and Wired magazine. It is even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Plus, Helix mattresses all come with a 10 or 15-year warranty depending on the model. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Bomani. That's helixsleep.com/Bomani. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. All right, Domonique, we back. I mentioned two guys who are going to be pitted against each other for the rest of their careers. And I'm going to just say this right now to Peyton Pritchard. Son, you might want to come out here and try to put up 20 in game 4, Because that Sam Hauser dude, after the way he played in game 3, he gonna get that lifetime contract with the local broadcast. He gonna get that Brian Scalabrine fellowship. If you don't step your game up, that always seemed like it was gonna be yours. You know what I'm saying? You out here scrappy, hitting the ground and everything else. But if Sam Hauser come out here and put out another 9 on 3 or 4 shooting in a game to win a championship, nah, he gonna be the one working on the radio, buddy. It ain't gonna be you.
Yeah, you out here fighting for car dealerships. You fighting for the end on all those commercial real estate deals that is coming. You are fighting for all of that. You fighting for free drinks for the rest of your life. That's what you fighting for, man. You get out there and show some gumption.
Look here.
Want to.
Are you familiar with Matt Bullard?
Nah.
Okay. Matt Bullard played for the 94 and the 95 Rockets. He's a dude that went to Iowa. Matt Bullard would make $40 million a year now because Matt Bullard was 6'10" and could shoot threes. All right. Matt Bullard was one of the guys who was traded to Detroit for Sean Elliott with Robert Horry when that trade got rescinded. And Robert Horry had talk about a story. Can you imagine that in this day and age? When Robert Horry got traded and got sent back because Sean Elliott didn't pass the physical. But anyway, Matt Bullard is not exactly a venerable Houston Rocket, I don't think, although he did come back. Like, he played a decent amount of time. Anyway, Matt Bullard was the color man for the Rockets for a very, very, very long time, right? A very long time. Which is to say, them championships and being the white dude went a long way, because the only white dude that I really remember associated with them teams was Scott Brooks that one year, and I think Pete Chilcutt was on the team otherwise. Domonique, Matt Bullard was sharing color commentating duties with Clyde Drexler, the greatest basketball player that Houston has ever produced. And he right there with Matt Bullard. So what I'm saying to you, Peyton Pritchard, is it might not end after this championship, but you need to step your game up, and you can get there. Look at Danny Ainge. He got to be Mr. Front Office for everybody, right? What you think that was about, dog? Step your game up right now, because that Hauser boy is gaining on you.
That's hilarious. I mean, not that anyone disagrees with the idea that there are some benefits and privileges to being a straight white male, but if you are the minority straight white male, like, that is a level of, because I imagine that when they were putting together this team, they were like, all right, we got Clyde. Now we got to make them comfortable. And they went down that list of 3 dudes.
Yes.
It was like, all right, well, Matt hit them threes that one time. Come on in here, Matt. Give you a shot.
They like, damn, Jim Peterson is working for Minnesota. Okay, we can't get him off the list. Scotty's a little bit too busy coaching. Has anybody seen Dave Feidel? Okay, no, not quite sure where he's at. Damn, what are we gonna do? But them boys, they got another one too, don't they? The big one, the big white boy, Cornette.
Oh yeah.
Yo, and they got the dude Svi. I forgot this. I didn't know this Svi was on their team. I don't know how to say his last name. I just know his first name is Svi. And they got a dude named Jordan. No, he's ours. Sorry, that picture, the angle. I thought that. I mean, he's kind of both ours, but you know how that works.
Who was Scalabrine's competition? Because they had to throw the towel in, because he is a redhead. They was done.
He had no competition. It was Brian Scalabrine and the blackest team in the history of Boston.
So yeah, no one had a chance anyway. If there was somebody else, it was like not in Boston with Scalabrine. He had a little bit of personality too. Scal knew the assignment. He killed it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get a look at this roster again and see, was there. Okay. Scott Pollard was an option.
Yeah. But I feel like Scott Pollard had been a few other places. Like, he had established himself as not necessarily a Boston guy.
Correct. No, but Scalabrine was a perfect situation. And it just tell you everything you need to know. Because look, man, when you famous for not playing, like, you go look at who the black dudes are that's running color commentary for most of these teams, they got accomplishments. You look at them white dudes, they got straight hair. That's what they got. That's how they earned their spot on that team right there.
Oh, gosh. Did they chant for him to get in at the end of blowouts like they do for college kids?
Well, Scalabrine, would talk about how people would stop him on the street in Boston and be like, yeah, it'd be good if we could get some more of us. You know, right? And Scalabrine's like, I don't think that, I'm not sure that'll help.
That's the thing is they become fan favorites oftentimes for a lot of people, but for people who they don't agree with, because get it, these guys are playing professional basketball. They have been around us more than y'all for a long damn time. They are not coming in there like, yeah, I'm alone. I need some more of my people. No, they recognize what they are doing there, and I don't think that you can approach most of them with some racist nonsense, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you right.
So, and the worst thing about it for Scalabrine, if we're going to be fair, Brian Scalabrine was like a first-team all Pac-12 player when he was in college. Brian Scalabrine played in the NBA for 12 years. Like, no, he was not a great player. Nobody is like disputing that or anything else. But he became the gold standard for sorry NBA player just because he was white, and that's only because he got to be more famous than he should have been because he was the white dude, and that's why he had to go on the internet putting up them videos of him eating motherfuckers up.
I mean, I think it's also like the look, too.
He was wearing a headband, too.
Yeah, Tyler Hero is white, but I don't think that Tyler Hero is going to be hit with that because Tyler Hero, whether he is or not, he looks like he belongs on the basketball team. Brian Scalabrine kind of didn't look like it. I don't care how good he was. I think that's why this stuff was so funny when he was cooking them high school kids. Like, yeah, because he looked like he's not supposed to be able to. He looked like a teacher.
Bruh, I told you what it come down to, man. White folks will only make you a fan favorite if you ain't got no swag. If you cool, if it look like you got girls, they not really, or you approach your game with a certain level of confidence, they don't give you that love like that. You know who else they don't get that love? They didn't get that love to like that? Kirk Heinrich. He didn't really get like fan favorite treatment, and he from Iowa, right? He assimilated and adapted a little bit too well. Nick Collison, for whatever reason, he got the props, and he married a black woman.
Yeah, I think it's
you didn't see that coming, did you?
I knew it. I did see it coming when it came, but I knew it. I think it's about you enter yourself into different weight classes, like or different competitions by how you carry yourself. If you push yourself into by having too cool a haircut, by having too many tattoos, by showing up to the game looking a little too fly, you then you withdraw yourself from the walk on, the fan favorite situation.
Yes. Yeah. For some reason, white folks only want, it doesn't make no sense. White folks only want white basketball players that look like they snuck in.
It's not for some reason. I think the reason is clear. It's because they look like they snuck in.
Yeah, I hear you. But at the same time, when we get in places that we ain't supposed to be, we don't care which one it is. It can be an uncle. Now, there are limits to this, right? Like, for example, we don't talk about Tim Scott in February, right? Like, we have decided that his black senator, it don't count the same, right? Like, we not that happy. But with Clarence Thomas, some people was. Yeah. Like, when it first happened, it was like, okay, we still got us our one.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I also think we believe, and it's true, that all the places that we are kept out of, we belong there, but we're being kept out of them. So I think that comes with a different level of confidence. Like, yeah, we here. And so we like attach ourselves to people who carry themselves like, yeah, we here. I think it's slightly different when there were rules set up to make it easier for you to get places and then you're not there. So they like the guy who looked like, oh, look where I found myself.
I believe you raised a fair point. I think that perhaps that gets us like I told you, my man Dante. Now Dante gets some Italian love in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Like he don't. But I told you, man, before the word got out about Hartenstein, they was that bated breath whenever he would go up with a bucket. You know, he a big old lurch looking motherfucker, right? So like he kind of has an element of snuck in to his game. Like at Duke, Duke, they had all them Plumleys, and my homeboy with the all-time great line, my man Shay, 3 Plumleys is a waste of 2 scholarships. And so the one that absolutely earned his scholarship was Mason, who's still in the league. But he had the one after him, Marshall, who wasn't nearly as talented as the other 2 were. And man, he got all the fan favorite bonus points. That dude even went and did some military time. You know what I'm saying? Like he was getting all the love. He was a hard-nosed player too, a lunch pail guy, if you will.
It sounds like he need to pop up a podcast and say some incendiary things, and he could make some cake.
He just might. Speaking of Duke, JJ Redick just got his official interview with the Lakers. So now we back to the JJ gonna be the Lakers head coach thing after we took a interesting break, shall we say, from that topic of discussion. That's too inside baseball and fraught for me to discuss here, but that was weird, and everybody knows that was weird. And a lot of people are saying quiet stuff out loud about how weird the Dan Hurley situation was. And now it's so weird that we back to the JJ Redick thing. And I hope that we don't forget this is really weird too.
Yeah, the Dan Hurley thing worked out for everybody in the end. Like the Lakers managed to demonstrate that they were going after a big time coach. Dan Hurley got some more money, and it sounds like JJ gonna end up where he always had expected to end up. So nobody was hurt by that weirdness. It was a momentary detour.
I know one guy that felt like he was hurt by that detour, Shams Charania.
Yeah.
But now he back on track.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I mean. We're back on track. It doesn't seem like his I guess it feels like he can puff his chest out now. I was like, okay. You know, so like nobody was actually hurt by that. But the JJ stuff is interesting because it's not that unusual. I remember when the Dan Hurley stuff first came up and we were all taking it seriously. And I was thinking like, man, his stock is never going to be higher. It might be a time for him to make this leap. And then I remembered, this ain't the NFL, this the NBA. With the exception of Jeff Saturday, this is not unusual. So Dan Hurley, he could lose a bunch of games and just completely like his dynasty could fall apart. Somebody's still going to offer him a ton of money to come to the NBA because they did it for like Derek Fisher fresh out the league, Steve Nash years out the league. Like this is not, it's not always, while Patrick Ewing might have to wait a real long time. The NBA, if they like you, you know the right people, they hire you at any point.
Yeah, it's not crazy on that level. I have said for a while that I had to like one day look up and recognize I got no idea who you're supposed to hire to be a head coach. After you coach, I got some ideas as to whether or not they should hire you. But before you do it, it is random, dog. They go get dudes off the street. They go get broadcasters. They go get assistants that I ain't never heard of. They go find dudes from overseas named Igor. I don't know like what the true correlating factors are in making this happen. I don't. So it is entirely possible that making JJ Redick the head coach can absolutely work. And for what it's worth, I would say on one level, but thinking that they're going to be a good coach just because you saw them on TV, that don't make no sense. But I've seen that work a few too many times too. That's what happened with Doc Rivers.
Steve Kerr?
In large part, that's what happened with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr at least had that GM run, right? But in large part, that's what happened with him. Pat Riley was the radio guy, and that's how he wound up becoming an assistant coach in making that one happen. Like, I mean, it's a lot of these that happen. But I don't think that's the guy LeBron James wants to be the head coach. I don't believe it. I don't know how much asking they've done of him. I don't know how much he has done to impart his opinion. I got my reasons for thinking that. Reason number one, if that's who LeBron wanted to coach that team, he'd be already. They wouldn't have gone through this here Dan Hurley situation. And by the way, the reason that Dan Hurley situation doesn't seem real is you can't offer Dan Hurley less than you offer Monty Williams, period. Like that to me makes it seem like they weren't. Now, the Lakers are such a poorly run organization. That might have been their idea of being serious. But that to me was, if I was Dan Hurley, I'd be mad I wasted my time flying out there. Like that seemed to be an unserious sort of play that they made there. But LeBron typically wants a coach that's got some experience.
Right.
That isn't this. Like they can get together and chop it up and, shoot the shit on the podcast or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that this is the guy that LeBron wants at the end of his career in this very particular sort of situation with the team and roster they have. Like, I have no reason to think this is going to work. I could come up with more reasons to think that it wouldn't, but I would ask people why they think it will work, right? Just because JJ sounds smart on TV, that's not what this job is. Like, you talk about that all the time.
Yeah. I think so to go back to the money situation is I'm surprised that you brought up the Monty Williams contract, because if I was the Lakers, when Monty Williams got that contract, people thought that was too much for Monty Williams, right? Like, I don't remember people saying, so like if I'm the Lakers, I'm saying I don't got to overpay because they overpaid, but I guess if you Dan Hurley, you like, yes, you do, or I'm going back to work.
That deal set the market. And if you now look at what the other coaches are getting paid,
yeah,
right? Like after that, when
Spo got his deal redone and
Steve Kerr's making $17.5 million. All right. Like I'm gonna go through this list right now. Like, you're right. Just because they made this move for this one guy doesn't mean they got to do it for you. Steve Kerr made $17.5 million. Greg Popovich made $16 million. Eric Spoelstra's making $15 million. Ty Lue is making $14 million. And then you get to Monty Williams at 13. If you are going to hire back-to-back NCAA champion, you have to pay him more than Monty Williams got paid. Like, I think you know that walking in the door. Or if you're really serious about this process, you have talked to the agent already about this, and you know that if you're not talking about Monty Williams money, don't waste nobody's time. Yet and still, they got this man on this plane out there to lowball him. But hold on, a 6-year lowball offer.
Yeah, I don't need to fly out for that. I don't imagine that Dan Hurley cares about the money for the money's sake, but you gonna put this on TV? You gonna have everybody believe it? Like, that's what it's about more than anything. It's like a respect issue. It's like, I can't take this. I'm not gonna buy a bigger house. I'm not gonna go on no better vacations with the $2 or $3 million extra a year. But you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna walk into no coaches association meetings and sit behind Monty Williams. That's what's not gonna happen.
Now, hold on here. To be fair, I'm going to drop this right fast, and then we're going to hit to a break. But before I say this, I will notice something that's going on with the hierarchy of the coaching salaries. So I told you, it's Kerr at 17.5, Popovich at 16, Spo at 15, Monty Williams at 13. And, buddy, after that, things change. $10 million for Mike Budenholzer, who has a championship.
Yeah.
8.5 for Mike Brown, 8 for Nick Nurse. Now, granted, these are older contracts, right? Like, Nick Nurse's contract is older. Jason Kidd at 8, Doc Rivers at 8, Quinn Snyder at 8, Mike Malone at 8, Rick Carlisle at 7.5, Ime at 7. You know, he was a little bit damaged. Ty Lue just got his bump up. Monty Williams done made everybody some money, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, that was such a paradigm shifting hire that everybody, when their time is up, is coming to get that money. Jason Kidd, he gonna come up to get that money. I'm shocked that Doc Rivers took the job for 8.
I know we got to go to break. However, you said a name in there that I hadn't thought about given the current context of the NBA. And boy, would things have been different. Like, if Ime was still in Boston.
Yeah.
Because we got Joe Maz, and Joe Maz going to get a title, and Joe Maz has done some good things. But Joe Maz is an interesting dude. He ain't Ime.
Joe Mazzulla is the biggest weirdo that I have ever seen as an NBA head coach. I can't think of there have been NBA coaches that have been weirdos, but delightful. Again, whatever happened to the delightful weirdo? I feel like we only got one of those left in the NBA. And it's Brook Lopez, because the other one in the NBA no more, is he?
Yeah. Joe Maz, I'm trying to make his weirdo delightful, but it's not. Like, his quotes he was talking about Brazil the other day, and just, he do jujitsu and that this all started with him talking about how he watched The Town 4 times a week. Like, man, and it felt like pandering, but now that I know him a little better, he was serious.
Look, hold on. You got to remember, though, he a local. So, like, him watching The Town, it might be that.
Yeah, I guess so. He said he got a team full of Spider-Mans. He just got, and then it's like the religious stuff where no matter what, he gonna be like, I only know one royal family. Come on, Maz.
Jesus. That's why we now call him the Stallion of Nazareth.
Oh, man. He contests the shots and timeouts. This guy is a weirdo.
Yes, he is. We're officially in the month of June, which means summer travel is in full swing. I unfortunately missed out on the trip because I was down in Atlanta doing some all-cast for TNT. But Sean, what you got going this summer?
Bo, it's obviously a bummer about your trip, but I'm sure you got another one in the works. You know, for me, I'm personally excited about a trip to France this summer. Going to spend a couple days in Paris and Bordeaux, and I'm really hoping to take advantage of Viator to book some tours in the Louvre or, maybe get some good restaurant reservations in Paris.
Yeah, because if you didn't already know, Viator is a tool you can use to plan and book travel experiences around the world. The Viator app and website make it easy to explore 300,000 plus travel experiences so you can discover what's out there no matter where you're traveling or what you're interested in. Enjoy real traveler reviews to get insider information from people who've already been on the experiences you're considering. Plus, free cancellation helps you plan for the unexpected, and Viator also offers 24/7 customer service so you know you'll get support at any hour if things aren't going as planned. So to all our listeners, download the Viator app now and use code Viator10 for 10% off your first booking in the app. Find the perfect travel experiences for you. Do more with Viator. Later this month, Major League Baseball is holding a special regular season game between the San Francisco Giants and St. Louis Cardinals at Rickwood Field as a tribute to the Negro Leagues. Now, if you did not know, Rickwood Field is the former home of the legendary Birmingham Barons of the Negro Leagues. Over its 114-year history, it has hosted some of baseball's greatest legends, including Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige, and Josh Gibson. Rickwood Field is also the oldest professional ballpark in the United States, and it will officially host the first ever MLB regular season game on June 20th, 2024. Mark it down on your calendar now, because not only will this game feature several living alumni of the Negro Leagues, the game will also pay tribute to their careers in baseball and the impact they had on the history of our sport and society. So tune in to MLB at Rickwood Field Thursday, June 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Fox, to watch history in the making as the Giants take on the Cardinals. Go to MLB.com/Rickwood to learn more. All right, Domonique, you checked out the Tom Brady jersey retirement. I'm guessing Bill Belichick did not come to that. I'm shocked they got Bill Belichick to go to that roast.
Yeah, I didn't even think about what they had to pay Bill Belichick to go to that roast. But I guess money, I don't know. I don't get why he went to that. But yeah, I didn't watch the whole ceremony, but I saw some clips. What got my attention was public service announcement. He always comes out to that, normally a recording of it, Jay-Z song. They had this man do a surprise live performance, and it seemed like nobody knew he was going to be there, or ultimately it seemed like they didn't really care. But gotta be honest, it was cool as hell. Like, if I'm Tom Brady, you get Beyonce husband to come out here and perform at my Hall of Fame ceremony. It's pretty cool.
You think them Patriots fans actually know the words of that song?
Absolutely.
You sure?
Yeah, they know the words. There's a difference. Like, I'm sure you experienced this too as a youngster. You sing songs that you don't really internalize. I guess you're not hearing the music, as White Man Can't Jump would tell you. I'm sure they could go top to bottom. As many times they heard that song, but they probably not listening.
Well, my question is, when they hear it, was they playing an instrumental? And by the time it get to the lyrics is when Tom is coming out, right? Like, that's when the organ drops. And so he coming out there and they just screaming, right? Like, do they know, like, did Jay-Z come out there and say that he used to slang snowflakes by the OZ?
So Tom interacted with him and rapped back to him, buying expensive chains, I think was a line that he did.
I believe that Tom Brady knows the words.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know so much if the locals know the words. See, you was most surprised to me that Jay-Z would show up for such an event. Let me tell you something. $1 billion white man say, hey, can you do it? Jay-Z gonna think about it. I ain't saying he gonna do it necessarily, but he gonna give it a thought. Bob Kraft be out there at the Rock Nation brunch, out there. He don't he be going with Meek Mill to his court dates?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It just be like, hey, this my little buddy here is on the up and up. Like, don't he be out here doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess I thought I know we started this by talking about how I'm a Nas guy. I'm a J guy too. Like, the music is great. And I recognize that the path that he's been on has not been one that we all love. However, I had some, like, he's not Meek Mill, I guess is all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
He's not nobody little buddy. And I feel like a guy who, like him, who doesn't really perform anymore, like, to essentially come out of performing retirement for Tom Brady's retirement ceremony felt odd to me.
It would take a lot more for me to go off in the cut of Massachusetts. Like, that ain't even really Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would take just a touch more for me to make that move. But hey, man, also, though, to be fair to Jay-Z in this one, that association with Tom Brady, and by the way, it's so wild. It's an association with Tom Brady. We don't think of it as an association with the Patriots, even though it's when the whole team come out, right? But that association with Tom Brady is incredibly valuable to Jay-Z. Like, his song is attached to an enduring figure. Like, that makes PSA. PSA is not supposed to be a mainstream classic, right? That's supposed to be for us. PSA is now for everybody. By the way, PSA remix, PSA part 2, greater than the regular PSA, but neither here nor there.
I wonder sometimes when artists are making music, I'm sure they do think about how these things will be experienced in a live setting, but starting that song with "Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself" has made it so that it works in so many different situations. And that's why it's perfect for that. And I imagine that Jay-Z, as sophisticated a businessman as he was, he's not surprised that PSA caught on, because he imagined that, you know how many times somebody can introduce themselves to this as long as the beat knocks?
I can see that. I would also make note, while that "Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself" beginning is certainly helpful, you touched on the reason that we are here talking about this is when that organ drops. It is
the beat.
It is, my head explodes. Like, that run where Jay kind of introduced in a lot of ways to the world the Just Blaze Kanye, like Blueprint, which is really the coming out party for Kanye and Just Blaze. They both been on other stuff before, but that ain't really what we talking about, right? Like, this is when it came out. If you putting together a whole album and you got all these concepts that you want to put together, then that version of Kanye is the dude to call. But if you want a beat, we call Just Blaze.
They knocked, man.
And I know this,
when he first heard it, he was like, "Allow me to reintroduce myself."
Look, man, there was this one time that I needed a beat. And the greatest honor of my life is that I got one from Just Blaze.
I remember that. It was a hot beat, too.
That was like, everything is different now.
Make that your alarm. Wake up to that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Like, but no, is Tom Brady gonna be on TV this year, right?
Yep. He's supposed to be coming in for Greg Olson's spot. Have you had an opinion on it? Like, you think it's gonna be good or bad, or do you not care so much?
Oh, I care, because I have to watch these games, right?
Right.
I think, much like coaching, we're only gonna know it when we see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably it. I think that we are only going to know it when we see it. I do know this, though. I think people was trying to talk themselves into G-Reg. Like, G-Reg, I ate. But G-Reg wasn't that crew with, what's his name, Kevin Burkhardt and G-Reg didn't feel like a number one crew doing games. I think we've talked about this before also. I hear that G-Reg does not like to be called G-Reg, and too bad, so sad, buddy. Too bad, so sad. You're going to be G-Reg forever.
I like him on the games. I get your point about it not feeling big, but I thought he was good on the games. But obviously, if Tom Brady gonna do it and y'all got the money to do it, like, Tom Brady, even if he's bad, the first few weeks is at least gonna be more interesting and entertaining, and it's going to feel bigger. But the question that I have is, it seems like Tom Brady is, once he like transcended into this superstardom somewhere around midway in his career, it seemed like his moves were a lot more calculated. And the roast was obviously a calculated decision. So I don't know what he wants his persona to be going forward, but doing that roast suggests to me that he gonna be a lot more fun and interesting than we originally assumed. And I think that he's trying to build something broader than just doing these games. So he going to be ready and he going to have some fire, I think.
Well, here's why I think that he'll be probably more interesting than we're probably a lot of people are assuming coming off the rip. A, he is a very polite and charming man, but there's nothing to say that he is an overwhelmingly nice man, number one. And number two, what is very clear is that he is a perfectionist. Now, I get the feeling that he is probably a perfectionist very similar to Peyton Manning in the sense that Peyton Manning's such a perfectionist, he can't stand to see other people not be perfect, let alone himself. Like you could watch on them Manning casts, it drives Peyton Manning bonkers when these guys are out here making these mistakes. Peyton Manning would be so good as the color guy, so good because his make a play, don't make a play. He would get so excited every time about that, and it would be 100% genuine because that's how he lives. That's how he thinks about this stuff. I think Tom Brady's going to get that figured out. And I tell you this, too. Tom Brady done seen what done happened over there to Tony Romo, and that ain't going to happen to him.
Nah, that ain't definitely going to happen to him. And I think my guess is Tom Brady has this ability that a lot of quarterbacks have that Peyton Manning also had is to see and like the entire field and see what everyone is doing. When I used to watch film, I had to watch the same play 4 or 5 times because I had to look at everybody to see what they were doing. But these guys can watch a play once and they see it all. And I'm guessing, I've never been in the booth, but for some of these guys, Chris Collinsworth comes to mind. He picks out stuff in the course of a game that I'm thinking, it's no way you can watch the play and also see this. So I'm thinking that maybe there's someone else in the booth who's helping them, which is fine. You watch this, I'll watch that, you put it in my ear. I don't know if Tom Brady going to have that or if he need that, but I know that there are going to be thoughts that he has in the course of a game that if he decides to share them, it's going to make it so much more interesting. And no disrespect to Greg or anybody else. I remember when Talib was doing it, and I was like, yeah, I would like to have more defensive back perspective because we always get the quarterback perspective. That was before the greatest of all time was an option, guys.
By the way, remember that Talib was doing that for like 3 weeks, and then, that thing happened.
The element.
His proximity to the element, which Talib's proximity to the element is kind of like my proximity to this shirt that I'm wearing. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. And we got a brief moment, and I don't even know again if Talib was even responsible for what went down out there, right? But the element was right there.
You can take that shirt off, though. To be clear, I mean no disrespect, Talib, none at all, zero disrespect. However, I don't think he can.
Talib can take that shirt off too. He can. The problem is he would go put on another shirt.
Yeah, that
shirt might smell just like the last shirt, right? Like sometimes you might just need to wash clothes.
Maybe he could take it off, but it got a lot of buttons. It ain't a t-shirt. It got a lot of buttons. It's snug. Yeah, that's going to be a tough takeoff there. It got cufflinks on it and everything. You got to unsnap them. Yeah, it's going to take a minute to get up out of that thing.
Dominic, I'm certain that by the next time there's a Foxworth Friday, there will not be any basketball left, and that stinks. Like, I hate when that comes around.
To be fair,
hold on. Men's basketball, because there is basketball to be watched.
To be fair, though, of the shows that either you or I do, I think the one that is most well equipped to survive a bit of a major sport drought is Foxworth Friday. So we got some freedom to go a few different places, maybe.
We. Then there's me. And you on your own show when we ain't got each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, let me think what can go down was about to go down. Okay, the Lakers at some point, they're going to have to hire a coach. This time, like 10, 15 years ago, before people got their act right, this was prime time for people to get arrested. And you remember, they wasn't just getting arrested for little stuff, boy. They was out here getting in trouble for some grade A felonies out this street that we could, or even best, they get accused of something, and then we'd have a couple weeks before the DA decided whether or not to bring the charges to a grand jury, right? And we could fill out a lot of time. Like, I'm not rooting for somebody to go to prison, but I wouldn't mind if somebody went to jail.
Yeah, we don't have that much anymore. Yeah.
Oh, we got the Olympics. But damn, the Olympics ain't till August, though.
You know they got breakdancing in the Olympics? I was looking at...
I do know they have breakdancing.
As I was preparing for my summer, much like you, I'm looking at what I'm going to be talking about and trying to line up some interviews, and I looked at the list of Olympic events, and I was like, man, that's a good 5 minutes on one of these shows. I'll talk about breakdancing.
I got 4 words. We losing the recipes. Because I am fairly confident that the winner of the gold in breakdancing is not going to be a black person. And I'm just, what the Japanese team looking like? What Japan showed us is Japan love like the 4 elements of hip hop, like at its core, at its root. They over there, wicka, 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 woo, wicka, woo, wicka, woo. They out here spinning on the tables. They out here spinning on their backs. They out here looking like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Boy, they heroes on a half shell spinning around in circles.
I haven't looked at the current breakdancing rankings, but I'm pretty sure that we ain't at the top of that. I think you're absolutely right. It's a culture that has permeated a lot of society, and the Japanese culture would be my guess. I mean, hip hop's really big in Korea too, right?
Yeah, like our problem. I mean, I don't know if it's our problem, but I do feel like, you know, when white people start wearing the same clothes as you kind of got to start wearing other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that with other stuff too. And I feel like we just decided to let everybody else have breakdancing. It's just like, okay, that's what it was. And maybe it's because after a point to go to the club, you had to be too fresh. And so you wasn't going to be spinning around on your back in your best party shirt, right? Like maybe that's, they wouldn't let the B-boys in the house no more. Maybe that's it.
Breakdancing been gone though. Like when we was growing up, you wasn't you know any breakdance moves?
No, I mean I know none, but I don't know any other dancing moves either, right? Like I couldn't even do a touchdown dance if it came down to it. All I'm saying is everybody else, they kept doing it. Everybody else kept on going. And then next thing you know, they put breakdancing in the Olympics and we ain't gonna be nowhere to be found.
I want to see our breakdancing team. And it's probably not one black person on the breakdancing team. nah,
like it's probably, if it was a beatboxing team, probably ain't even got that. Like Hamilton inspired a very interesting cadre of white people, man. They out here beatboxing all kind of stuff. I mean, they for real beatboxing too.
Yeah,
like they good at it. Nice. I can't even lie. And I want to lie real bad.
they nice at it. I remember I bought the Rozelle album back in the day, which I don't know what I was thinking. I was a teenager. I don't know why I thought it was going to be a good album, but he was beatboxing on it. But the thing about Hamilton that when I saw it was kind of cool was obviously the hip hop's not great, but it was clear that there's lots of references in the song, and I felt like it was cool to in the whole musical. It was cool that I felt like I was on the inside of these references in a way that I've always felt like I was on the outside, where there's like references to Shakespeare and mythology and stuff. And I got to look that shit up because like, I don't know, that ain't what I grew up in. But when they sneak a Shook Ones beat into it, you ain't hear that, did you, Mr. White Man? You ain't understand that. I'm only 19, but my mind is old. That is not an original lyric, sir.
I got a homeboy that went to Wesleyan. Lin-Manuel, he could not possibly hate Hamilton more.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like Hamilton is one of those things that if you knew the dude who did it and you thought he was whack,
and
then you watch America jump on board with the vision of his whackness. He's getting so rich off of this, by the way.
Yeah,
like that's a low-key underrated thing, man. You mess around and write a hit play, baby, you eating forever. Like you realize it's going to get to a point where they doing high school productions of this. It's going to be like Our Town, Midsummer Night's Dream, any of this other stuff that they do over and over again at all these places, community playhouse type stuff and everything else. And every time they do it, they got to cut you a check.
Yeah, and he and the Disney family too. He doing a bunch of stuff with all. I think he was on the Casita movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he did the Mary Poppins joint. He's caked up.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm kind of a live and let live. And then I saw a picture of that dude for the first time in my life, and I was like, "Oh, we letting him out here with the rapping, huh?"
Yeah, I mean, it's not new. Like, we got to come up with something new. Like, it's country to rock and roll to hip hop. Like,
that's a discussion for another day. But the fact that people still rapping, that nobody has rejected rap and come up with something new, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. We have raised a generation of really wildly, contrary to the goals, we left a lot of kids behind, dog. And the problem is we left them behind while also jumping them up grades. We left them behind, but they still around, sounding like dummies.
Oh, man.
Let me stop, because that's the generation of your kids, and I don't want you to think I'm saying they sound like dummies. I'm sure they sound very smart.
They're going to be all right. I ain't worried about that.
Very important. Look, man, your own daughter had to decide to go raise herself among the blacks. You know what I'm saying? Your own daughter was like, "Hey, man, I got to take matters into my own hands." I salute you.
Yeah, I'm proud of her, and also riding out on their asses. She qualified for regional, so
oh, word
for that. Yeah, we'll see if she does well there. Then we're going down to the Junior Olympics, but it's her first year, so I'm proud of them. Happy, excited, all good.
So like Woodson, Wilson, Spangard, which one of the proms you think she gonna wind up going to?
Whichever one she went to. As long as we are headed on this track, I can trust her to do whatever. I ain't worried about it.
Look, she go wind up one of the proms. I got a partner that used to teach my Atlanta people know. I'm talking about a high school called Harper Archer in Atlanta. And I remember that the theme of the prom there in 1997 was All Eyes on Me, in case you were curious what kind of school Harper Archer was.
That's the thing, is that each kid is different, and she's demonstrated a level of responsibility that makes me comfortable. Mm-hmm. The other two are 11 and 8, and I'm still waiting for them signs of a level of responsibility. Like, you can't trust everyone else around them, but like, I feel pretty good about her going out and making these decisions on her own. The other two, we ain't there yet.
Well, I'm so glad Domonique got these kids. It allows our show to have a little personal family quality that I simply can't provide.
Oh, man. You could provide one of these days. Just slip up your game a little bit.
That's what I was about to say. Just get caught slipping out here in these streets.
Yeah, just get loose.
That's all I got to do. All I got to do is drop the ball, huh? That's it. All right, I got you. That is Domonique Foxworth. Check him out on the Domonique Foxworth Show, available where all fine podcasts are sold. My man, I appreciate you.
Got you, bro.
All right, man. Sean, you got prize picks for the people?
I sure do, Bo. Game 4 of the NBA Finals this Friday. Luka Dončić, 32.5 points. I'll take more there because certainly he will make amends for fouling out with 4 minutes left to go in a game. Jaylen Brown, 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think Jaylen Brown is vying for that Finals MVP, so I look for him to have a big performance. And Jrue Holiday, 1.5 blocks and steals. I'll take more there because he's just a defensive beast, and he's going to get a block, he's going to get a steal, and you'll make some money there on Prize Picks.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate it, man. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. Hit the voicemail line, 323-596-7767. Remember last week we had y'all telling them stories about the time a young lady ate you up on the basketball court. Go on and tell the truth about the time that you stumbled across the wrong Scalabrini and he wore your black ass out. 323-596-7767. Or if you were Scalabrini, tell us about the time that you wore his black ass out. I would just avoid using the phrase his black ass. Just letting you know that. But, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this thing 3 times a week. Sean Yu handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.